Greetings and welcome to my dear Gemini. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will, and we shall go ahead and get started now with a reading for the month of November 2021. And with this, we have a great deal of activity in terms of uh, desires. Okay, these desires need to be expressed in some sort of way. Desires signified by the dragon's head, as well as Lilith placement of 13 degrees uh, in Gemini, as well as in the early degrees of Gemini stemming from Taurus. Okay, so it's a movement from the second to the third houses. What does that mean? Means that there's something about what we can attain, what we can hold on to, that becomes elevated in such a way and brings forward the Kama house of desire, the third house, the house of hands, the house of skillful manipulation in terms of mental projections onto what we can attain in the real world in the second house. Okay. But these are elusive in nature. Most of it is, especially with Uranus in retrograde. There is a chaos, a design, in which we can become a student of what Saturn is trying to teach us, okay? Especially Saturn in Aquarius, okay? Which is that signature. The key signature here is that of Aquarius, or you have Uranus in mixture in combination with Saturn, okay? um, uh, when it comes to this reading, we're going to look very deeply into the idea of desire, of also desire and chaos, chaotic desire, and how these things are trying to unveil themselves in the way of us being sort of framed in the dragon's head, in the black moon of Lilith, in the energy of Gemini, and how we can become students of things in terms of that, okay? One thing we can do is look to the finger of God, to the Yod formation here that is opposite Sagittarius and the houses next to it, which is in Capricorn and Scorpio. Okay, now with all the solar and mercurial energy, plus the south node in this area of the 8th and ninth houses, okay, there's a principle knowing here that is esoteric in design, okay? It's based on the transformational shift of the real world, of the 10th house, of what's going on there. Okay, so our values, the way we think about these values will become challenged to such a way in which there are a great deal of karmas that are tied to old ways of thinking, old designs, old fanaticisms, or old intensities in terms of exploration, okay, that are tied to the dragon's tail in Sagittarius, okay, that is the south node in Sagittarius. This is going to shift eventually, I believe, but the south node, it tends to shift in reversed nature. That's why it's always signified, as well as the north node, signified in retrograde forever. There's a forever retrograde movement in these nodes of the moon. So the moon energy is very strong. It may be strongly affecting the energy of Gemini. It may be affecting the mind in a certain way. So it's important to allocate what the hands are bringing about, what skillful manipulation or mastery is bringing about in terms of the guise of the student, the guise of exploration, okay? And to understand really what it's trying to point to, which is irrevocable transformation of aesthetics, okay, of worldly aesthetics, how these are shifting into the great teacher energy of Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, okay? These are all things we can learn from, and as a Gemini, the expansion of the mind in terms of the occult learning should prove very useful for the time being. So, this tarot reading, we'll go ahead and begin. Okay. So there is a challenge here, in terms of karmas. Okay, that is tied to the energy of Gemini. That has to do with structures. These structures being fundamentally tied to our time, our energy, our resources. How we can uh, skillfully manipulate within the chaos of those structures of resources of the worldly things, okay, the worldly everyday that we fall back upon. There's something about that that is coming into question. Not to fear monger or anything like that. That's the last thing I want to do. But in terms of karmas, the primary one is to break through the mold. Okay, this is dealing with burdens of the mind, trying to become privy to that, being separate from those burdens, and being a lesson, uh, um, uh, a lesson searcher, someone who quests for knowledge and can separate um, good experience from bad experience, not to be influenced by others who have certain ideas of victimization, victimhood, and separating oneself from that in the future stance. Past comes from a return after trying to find a way away from challenges, challenging emotional situations, challenging intuitive hits, okay, and then becoming privy to those and trying to walk the path of hermetitude in some sort of way, isolation, to find stillness, okay. But in this stillness, a great burden has been awoken by the Martian energy, primarily of Aries and Scorpio, okay. Um, Martian energy that is tied to emotions as well as minding emotions, trying to understand how these have weighed in as a type of burden for the energy of Gemini. But the nine is strong here, nine of rods. Someone is going to become very wise in all of this, and it could be you. It could be someone influencing you as well, whoever's on your mind. Uh, Interesting. So let's go ahead and move on to the main reading. Okay, not going to be doing the Great Mirror this month. Just a very general read. Okay, there's a good progression here. Lots of mobility in the past, lots of movement, slow, explorative movement. There was a quest, something that had to be done. There also is, for the moment being, a time of rest, meditation, and deep understanding. Okay, this allows you to have strength in terms of what the five. No, yes, the five. No, the Four of Cups. Okay, so from the Four of Swords to the Four of Cups, there is a great stillness now, as opposed to the past. Okay, and this is a good thing. What it's moving towards, okay, is an inspirational way for you to influence others. Okay, um, you are at a point of crisis, and this this feeling of crisis, okay, is something that is defined by Mercury's energy in Scorpio. Okay, also possibly some sort of emotional crisis of some sort, being burned out, purification happening in this department for now. Amongst two choices, okay, uh, love or the orchestration of something greater. Um, those are two options in terms of paths. It's like love or friendship, love in a traditional way versus universal love. So romantic love versus universal love. Okay. Um, I think there's an evolution to Gemini that's occurring now that is being activated um, by Libra and Pisces, Taurus, lots of Taurus energy here. So stability is very much important in this crisis. Stability of mind as well as stability of spirit. Stability of the esoteric craft, but also stability of justice, of karmas. Okay. um, I think you are in good hands. Whatever choice you make between two variant things that may create a sense of inspiration for you or enlightenment, paths of enlightenment, you will find both of them to be in both of them, whichever you choose, if you choose, within this crisis, to be enlightening and to fulfill you in some sort of way. Lots of positive energy here. Okay. This is doubling up too. A choice leads to a choice, but both of them are glorious. Okay. If there's been a realm of stagnation in the past, this will not happen. Furthermore, there is a throne to be sat on. Whatever you are sitting on, whatever you're planning to sit on. Lots of cooperation energy from this throne too. Dictation. Um, mm, 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 mm. At the same time, the Eight of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Three of Swords is here to nullify something. Um, you may find that with others there is a shared understanding of crisis, okay, of this crisis that you may be going through, whatever it is. Uh, never fear. The advice is that for rite of passages, you can find the power to bring forward, once again, the Page of Swords, or Page of Rods, waits to bring forward separations from the past. Okay, clear lines, clear boundaries with the past, and this allows for new beginnings. Okay, this allows also for grounding of Gemini's energy, which it has a tendency to um, um, sort of have difficulty with. Not as much as the other air signs, to be honest, but still, there is some skillful manipulation that can be had here if done in the right way. So yeah, kind of lofted reading. I hope that was helpful. Um, yeah, short, sweet, and out of control. Please take care now. Bye.